Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, I'm going to be doing a randomly generated hypnosis session, this time not based on a random destination generator, but based on a dream symbol generator. So things that can come up in dreams that may have different interpretations or meanings, and I'm a big fan of symbolism in hypnotherapy sessions. I did a talk on this recently. There are certain symbols that come up time and time again. So a key, for example, is a good symbol to unlock, something that was closed before, or a mirror is a good symbol to reflect on yourself. Even a playground is a good symbol for experimenting with the idea of play in different kind of playful states. So symbols are very powerful. Mainly, they work similar to metaphors in the sense that you bring your own representation and links to those symbols to the equation. So a key to one person might have a different meaning or representation to someone else. If I say the word key, you've probably already made an image of a key in your mind, but I don't know if that's kind of like a standard house key or an electronic key fob, or perhaps one of those old medieval large keys. But you created an image in your head and it was unique to you, and it was probably different to my image, and it doesn't matter because it's the meaning that it represents rather than the thing itself. So we're going to do the random hypnosis session based on dream symbols, 2 emotions and 3 nouns, and just see where the hypnosis takes us. So let's begin the randomness of this. So first of all, we're going to generate 3 meanings. So we have defended. This is the idea of being defending or being defended. So someone else protecting you, perhaps. We've got space travel, which the meaning it has here is they're saying in this kind of generator website, typically an aspect of your waking life is coming to an end, which could be a relationship, career, or project. So the idea of new kind of chapters, new stage in your life. And earthquake is the final dream symbol. It says here, if you see an earthquake in a dream, it means something special is going to happen. Are you experiencing a renewal of energy and focus, or has temptation been courting you? Now, again, these are their interpretations. There is no way of objectively verifying what any symbol or dream representation means at all. So I'll fuse these symbols into the hypnosis session I'm about to do, and it's down for you and your unconscious to decide what they mean and how they help in some way. The 2 random emotions are fury and hunger. So fury, form of anger or rage. Hunger could have the meaning of feeling hungry for food, but I think more metaphorically, it's a desire for something. Some people are hungry for success, or they've got a hunger for something else that they want that's desirable. So it could be a variation of motivation. And the 3 nouns that we're going to generate are mix, approach, and society. So a mix, obviously, when you have different things fused together. Approach is when you move toward something rather than away. And society, obviously, kind of where we exist in the dynamic of normally other people and institutions and things. So, for example, a career is part of society, or religion, or media, or whatever it might be. We don't exist outside of a society. And when they've looked at people that have been, let's say, castaways that have been isolated for long periods of time, generally it's really not good for mental health to be isolated. So it is very useful to kind of have that role and do something meaningful in a society. So these are the kind of things that we're going to be tapping into in this hypnosis session. I have my 50-minute hourglass here, so it's not going to be a long session. I have no idea where this hypnosis session is going to take us, so I'm as curious to find out as perhaps you are. So let's get my music bed ready and let's see where we go with this hypnosis session. As you breathe in and breathe out, get a sense that with each and every breath, the breaths are getting easier and easier. Sometimes you have to force yourself to breathe in, and yet other times the breath is just like you don't even know you're doing it. And I wonder, not that you try to breathe in, but you just exhale slightly more than you normally would. And in doing so, you'll notice that your breaths get deeper and deeper and move from your chest to your diaphragm. And in doing so, effortlessly help your body to relax. On the next outward breath, if it's safe to do so, allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, notice that you become even more aware of my voice than you were before. And you already know that words have meanings have interpretations, and you have the ability, consciously and unconsciously, to start mixing in my words with your experiences to create a cocktail of internal representations within your imagination that will have different meanings to you, and therefore create a unique experience. As you go deeper and deeper relax, I want you to approach the idea of trance or hypnosis in the same way that you would approach getting ready to have a relaxing bath, or perhaps take an enjoyable nap in the sunshine. You don't approach it with trepidation, you approach it with a primed state of pleasant expectation. I want you to imagine that wherever you are right now is just a starting point. Einstein once imagined what it would be like to travel at the speed of light throughout the universe, and in his thought experiment enabled him to create perhaps one of the most famous scientific equations of all time. E equals mc squared. He was a scientist, but it was his imagination that unlocked that realization. And if Einstein can imagine traveling through space, then I think you can imagine traveling through space. Perhaps in a spaceship, a rocket, or perhaps, as Einstein did, just imagine that you were like a superhero that can travel through space, breathing in oxygen as if you were on Earth, even though you're in space, because, after all, this is just your imagination. And as you do so, imagine traveling through space, and the universe is vast. In fact, they say that every grain of sand in the Sahara Desert would be just a fraction of the amount of unique planets that exist in the universe. So imagine, of all those trillions and trillions of potential planets, that you get to travel to the kind of planet with breathable air and a pleasant environment. Imagine touching down in that planet And maybe the sky is a different color. Maybe it's warmer. But imagine it's perfect for you to just deeply relax. And then imagine that there is a species of animal on this particular planet that they don't know if you're friendly or a threat, and they approach you. And in doing so, one of their own species seeks to defend you, to protect you. But rather make the assumption that you're somehow dangerous or a threat, they have a different presupposition. The presupposition is that you're friendly and you're just there to learn, relax, and enjoy. And notice that in you being defended, doesn't it create instant rapport and friendship with this species that defended you without even knowing you? Some would call that kindness, empathy. But I want you to get a sense that in the same way that you have this feeling with this unknown species that protected and defended you, what would it be like for you to defend those in need in your future? What are you in a unique position to do based on your experiences, your knowledge, your understanding of the world? Who could you protect? Who could you defend? And also, what is it in your life that you would fight to defend? Perhaps your family, perhaps your home, or perhaps things that you value, like freedom, or certain things you care about. Because knowing what you would fight to defend is the easiest way to figure out what's truly important to you. And when you know what's truly important, isn't it the case that there is a hunger to do more for those things, people, relationships, friendships that are truly valuable for you? And I want you to imagine the fury that you would experience if the things that you valued most were taken from you. Isn't it the case that in that context, fury and angry is a useful, resourceful emotion? Wouldn't you fight to defend those things you care about most? In whichever way that means for you, not necessarily physically. You don't have to go into battle, but it could be fighting for your rights in many different ways. Sometimes anger, fury, is exactly what is needed to create an earthquake of change in things that aren't used to moving. Rivers will flow on the exact same path that they've flowed for perhaps centuries. But an earthquake can change the route of a river instantly. It could turn a river that's smooth into a waterfall. And I wonder, within your life, what areas of your life would you like to see an earthquake? Radical, dramatic change. And I want you to imagine there you are on this strange planet, feeling protected, feeling inquisitive, with a hunger to learn new things. And then realize that in order to integrate into this society, you would have to communicate. You would have to learn. You couldn't integrate with this society if you didn't mix with the society. And sooner or later, in order to be a true part of this society, you would need to find something unique to you that you could add value in this society. Getting a sense of contribution. Because those that are happiest in any society aren't the ones looking to take. They're the ones looking to create, to add value rather than extract value. And I wonder, in a brand new society, where do you feel you could add the most value, have the most impact, create the most significant contribution to this brand new society? And as you start to think about that, I wonder if that thing is already what you're doing here on Earth. And if it isn't it the case that it might be useful to do more of what creates the most value? The Japanese have a philosophy called ikigai, where those the people that do what they're good at, but also what society needs, and also what society is willing to pay for, but in contributing in a way that they're passionate about. They have a hunger to do without effort. It leads to a deep sense of fulfillment, not by taking from society, but by approaching with the mentality of contribution and impact. And here you are in space in this strange new society, and by thinking about where you could add the most value, isn't it the case that that's also the case back on Earth? And before we leave this strange planet with this strange new society, I wonder that if there were to be an earthquake in one area of your life, something that you would like to see change radically, what would that be? Would you like an earthquake in your career, your relationship, your health? Because although earthquakes are destructive, it can also bring people together, and it enables people to start afresh. And by starting afresh, but with all the knowledge they had from before, isn't it the case that there are new opportunities within that? If your career suddenly ended today, would you choose to start a career in that same industry? Or would you choose something else? If your relationship suddenly ended right now, would you choose to find someone identical to the relationship that you've been in? Or knowing what you now know, would you seek a different dynamic? Perhaps an earthquake is exactly what is needed to enable you to throw something else into the mix in your life. Something new. Something that makes for excitement, and perhaps creates a hunger that has been missing for a while. A hunger for life, a hunger for learning, a hunger to go outside your comfort zone, to take risks, and to do something that perhaps you weren't expecting to do. And as you're there on that planet, say goodbye to your new friends, this new species, as you let them know you're returning to your planet to shake up your life in new, positive and interesting ways. As you realize that This is all in your imagination, all in your head. Perhaps images or thoughts or anything else. And that what's real for you right now is that you are in your own physical body right now, listening to my voice, perhaps with your eyes closed. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And in doing so, wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now, because very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling hungry for a new challenge, hungry to mix things up in your life and try something entirely new. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.
Okay, thank you again for watching that show. Hope you found it useful. I'm wondering what you could do to mix up your life, create little earthquakes in the status quo perhaps, and try something new. If you've got any inspiration from this, any kind of ideas from this, if you think it may lead to certain decisions or actions, put them in the comments, because that might inspire other people. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the show, because that helps me boost up the algorithms for YouTube so that new people can discover my content. And as always, thank you for watching and supporting the show, and you take care, and I'll see you soon.